Art, especially political art, is like a rebellious teenager. The more you curb it, the more brazen it gets. The more vocal and popular it becomes. And that's exactly the case, just by the way, with the BBC's latest documentary on India and Prime Minister Narendra Modi. It's called The Modi Question. Now, unless you live under a rock, you know exactly what this controversy is about. Last week, the BBC released part 1 of the documentary. It focused on Prime Minister Modi's role in the 2002 Gujarat riots. The government had a meltdown and asked YouTube and Twitter to take down the video, essentially block it. Needless to say, it has had the exact opposite effect. The ban led to more and more publicity for the documentary. Colleges in Kerala, Telangana and Delhi have organized special screenings for the first part. Here in Delhi, things have gotten ugly. A group of students at the JNU planned the screening. On Tuesday, college authorities, university authorities denied permission, cut off power supply, essentially a blackout. There were also some reports of stone pelting and sloganeering in campus. By the end of it, many students had managed to watch the documentary on their cell phones and laptops. It was a form of protest. Today, the drama has shifted to Jamia Millia Islamia. 3 students from Jamia University have been detained by the police. Their crime? Trying to screen the BBC documentary on campus. Take a look at the pictures that are coming to us from Jamia. There are cops out in riot gear. They have turned up at the gates of Jamia to ensure that the documentary is not screened. College authorities have also denied permission for gatherings and meetings. Like I said, if the plan was to kill the documentary, it has spectacularly backfired. Even the people who had absolutely no idea about this docu-series are now talking about it. Obviously, they will. Every news channel is talking about it. It's a big headline and a big debate topic across networks. The situation on these campuses is pretty tense right now. Both the left unions and the ABVP have police cases registered against each other. Listen in.
Who are giving out some pictures, who are giving out some videos. Umesh ji, we would like to speak to you. You have come out with some pictures and videos. What would you like to say about that?
See, as you can clearly see the videos which came from the media itself. All the videos and pictures shown in those videos are leftist of the campus. 80% to 20% are from the leftist campus.
That means you are alleging that most of them were not from this particular campus?
No, 80% of the students are from Jamia Millia Islamia.
Okay.
Jamia students are present in the yesterday's movie documentary screening. Okay. What they are doing? They are just here in the campus to disturb the campus.
Umesh, if you could tell us that what all the details were mentioned in the complaint that you had filed in the Vasant Kunj police station?
See, as you have yesterday seen, two more than 3-4 common students have been mob lynched and harassed in the main gate, and they were declaring that they are the person who are pelting the students. Both the students, Vikas and Gaurav, they clearly said that we have no role in playing in pattarbaji. We have not done any pattarbaji. If you show any evidence that we have pelted stones, please show that.
Will you be filing an FIR? How will you be taking this matter forward?
See, as of now, both the students who have been harassed by these leftist communists, they have filed complaint both with the JNU administration and as well as police.
हुजूम में क्या प्लानिंग थी वो मैं आपको दिखा सकता हूँ। ये जेएनयू के स्टूडेंट तो नहीं है, इसमें से 2 सिर्फ जेएनयू के, बाकी सब जामिया के हैं, डीयू के हैं। और ये सब यहाँ आए थे और ये वीडियो हमको।
आपका मानना है कि बाहर से भी अलग यूनिवर्सिटी से बच्चों को बुलाकर यहाँ पे माहौल खराब करने की कोशिश?
एग्जैक्टली ये बाहर के ही लोग हैं। मैं आपको दिखाता हूँ, ये देखिए एक वीडियो आपको दिखाता हूँ मैं, जिसमें ये लोग वो पत्थरबाजी करते, डंडे इकट्ठा करते नजर आ रहे हैं। ये देखिएगा आप, ये देखिए, इसमें देखिए, ये देखिए आप।
तो ये कल रात का
जी, ये देखिए, इसमें पीछे डंडा इकट्ठा कर रहे हैं। देखिए मुंह पे मफलर बांध के अपने चेहरा आइडेंटिटी छिपाने की कोशिश की जा रही है। ये हम अपनी वीडियो नहीं है, ये मीडिया के माध्यम से ही मिला है हम लोगों को, मलयालम मीडिया के माध्यम से ये हम लोगों को प्राप्त हुआ है। तो कहने का अर्थ है कि लाठी डंडा पत्थर इकट्ठा करना, ऐसी चीजें करना, ये तो क्लियर प्लानिंग के तहत है। और यहाँ आकर के चूंकि यहाँ ढाबे हैं, कुछ लोग खाना खाने आए, उनको पकड़ के आप मॉब लिंचिंग करने की कोशिश करते हैं। जेएनयू गेट पे अगर मीडिया मौजूद नहीं होती तो पक्का ये लोग आपको मतलब क्षतिग्रस्त नजर आते, 12-15 टांके तो जरूर लगे आते।
आगे आप लोग का क्या कहना है कि आप लोग ने शिकायत तो दर्ज करा दी दिल्ली पुलिस में, क्या अंदर प्रशासन से भी आपकी मुलाकात हुई?
प्रशासन को सबसे पहले हम लोगों ने मतलब यहाँ से जो 2 कार्यकर्ता छूटे सिक्योरिटी के माध्यम से तुरंत वहीं पे हमने कंप्लेंट किया, पुलिस को भी कंप्लेंट किया। हमारा ये डिमांड है कि मीडिया के कैमरे में वो सारे चेहरे मौजूद हैं, ये आउट इन ओपन है, उनको आइडेंटिफाई करिए, तुरंत कार्रवाई करिए, ताकि जेएनयू के अंदर जो जहर फैलाने आए बाहर के लोग और जेएनयू के अंदर के लोग और जो ऐसे चीजों में संलिप्त हैं, बार बार जेएनयू को बदनाम करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं, ये चीजें जो है नहीं हो।
Okay, that is a political slugfest that is going on outside JNU. Students of the JNU Students Union and the ABVP worrying about what has happened yesterday. But today, the scene, the battlefield as it were, is the Jamia University. This is where my colleague Rishabh is. Rishabh, what's the situation? 6 o'clock, there was supposed to be a screening of the BBC documentary on Prime Minister Modi's role in the 2002 riots. Has that happened? Has that not happened? Give us the situation on the ground right now.
So what we know right now, the screening has not taken place in Jamia Millia Islamia after there was huge deployment of police, CRPF and Rapid Action Force. SFI cadres were taken into preventive custody. Around 10 SFI cadres were taken into preventive custody and taken out of Jamia University. And as of now, the screening has not happened. We spoke to a lot of SFI cadres as well, and a lot of them on record told Times Network that the screening will only happen if gate number 7 and 8 is open for the students. As of now, both the gates, gate number 7, which is the main entry point of the main campus of Jamia Millia Islamia, as well as gate number 8, which is the main entry point for the south campus of Jamia Millia Islamia, both have been shut down, and even the students who are inside are being asked to leave the campus. Hence, the screening has not taken place. As of now, there is no screening happening, and things are calm at Jamia Millia Islamia.
Okay, things are calm at Jamia Millia Islamia. Can you tell us what the Jamia establishment or the university officials have said about this screening? They have said it can't be held. They are very clear, but what's the logic / the reasoning that has been given?
For Jamia authorities, Jamia is reiterating that as per the memorandum released on 29th of August 2022, no meeting or assembly can happen in lawn or amphitheater without prior permission, and there is no official permission given by the Jamia authorities for the same when it comes to the screening of the controversial BBC, now banned BBC documentary on Gujarat riots. And hence the screening is not allowed officially by Jamia authorities. And that's the reason that they will not allow any screening. This is clear stand of Jamia authorities that the screening will not happen. But there was a chaos at gate number 7 and 8 of Jamia Millia Islamia. Reason the authorities have not come out clear whether the students who want to go to library or canteen were also allowed. Definitely the screening was not allowed, but suddenly the gates were shut and students who were inside the campus were locked inside, and the students who were outside the campus were locked outside the gate, and that created a chaos, and that led to a chaos here on the street that goes between both the campuses of Jamia Millia Islamia. Right now, things are calm. Students have returned back to their residences, and the security is still upgraded in the area.
Okay, we'll leave it there for the moment. Rishabh, thank you very much for joining us. So chances are, Rishabh is telling me that the screening of the documentary will not happen because, well, the authorities have said it can't happen. Plus, the riot police is out there as well, and 3 students have been detained, as you can see on your screens. Now, the opposition has largely been united against the blocking of BBC's documentary. But one Congress leader did buck that trend. In fact, I would say one former Congress leader did buck the trend. His name is Anil Antony. He's the son of veteran Congress leader A.K. Antony. He resigned from the party earlier today. Now, that announcement came a day after he criticized the BBC's controversial documentary. Anil Antony says the BBC has a long history of prejudice against India. He also pointed out that the documentary quotes a former UK Foreign Secretary who supported the Iraq War. Within hours, he was disowned and criticized by Congress leaders. A lot of party supporters also abused Anil Antony online. So this afternoon, he announced his resignation on Twitter. In fact, his resignation letter is a full-blown criticism of the Congress top brass. Let me quote from the letter itself. He says, "You, your colleagues, and the coterie around the leadership are keen to work with a bunch of sycophants and chamchas who would unquestionably be at your beck and call. This has become the lone criteria of merit in the Congress," he says. As far as resignation letters go, that's a strongly worded one. But who exactly is Anil Antony referring to in this letter? Let's ask the man himself. I hope he answers that question. Anil Antony, thank you very much. Can I just start by asking you that one very obvious question? All right, there was some criticism that came your way via your party colleagues. Was that reason enough to resign? Why did you resign? Is that an overreaction?
A lot of things have been brewing for a while, but let's say in the last 24 hours, I did make a tweet. In that tweet, things are very clear. End of the day, I don't think that I have said anything which is against anything any Congress person had said. It is not against any of the basic values of the Congress party. It is not against any of the basic policies of the Congress party. The first sentence itself is very clear, where I had very clearly mentioned that I don't agree with the political views of the BJP, but end of the day, when it comes to certain things, especially let's say things that pertain to our core national interest, including sovereignty, I do think that partisan politics shouldn't come along above that. And I also made a point which I noted on this documentary, which I found to be a little worrying, which I thought people in this country should be cautious about, and that is the, let's say, where this particular documentary is coming from, where, let's say, the same people who are the masterminds behind this documentary are the same people who are the masterminds behind the Iraq war, which actually resulted in the death of millions of innocent people, and that is also something which I think is a very dark chapter that happened in our history. So these kind of things. So end of the day, I just bought a very innocuous tweet, and sadly, certain people in my organization who I had a lot of respect for, they thought that I am doing something which is a grave mortal sin, which I don't believe in. Like, I don't think I have done anything wrong. And the only thing I have actually mentioned is something which I think 99% of this country's population will actually agree with, and that is, end of the day, your partisan politics shouldn't come above national interest, and that is exactly what I said. I will still stick to that, but it riled up some people. And then in the moment I refused to, let's say, retract the tweet, or let's say give an explanation or give a counterpoint of view, suddenly, like in the last 15 to 18 hours, my entire social media walls, especially in Facebook, I'm not going to delete a single sentence. Everything will be there so that people of this country, people of my state can actually go and look at it and see the great culture of my own people, where they have been sending some of the worst abuses, some of the worst hate messages, some of the worst, whatever it is, because of something which I think was a very innocuous statement. And end of the day, I feel that somebody like me, like I have a good professional career, like I've been working in certain aspects in digital and cyber fields for a while, and I feel that this is not worth my time, and I feel that I should just move on and do whatever I feel I'm more comfortable with, and so I sent the resignation letter.
Anil, you're not naming names, but do you think this hate and abuse against you that you've seen in the last 18 hours has been sanctioned at the top?
See, yesterday, like I said, was a catalyst of a lot of things brewing, but I had worked for the party from 2019. There are many state elections, including the 2019 Lok Sabha elections and the 21 state elections that I was a part of, where I was contributing to the party. And every single time when I was doing something, there was a particular set of people who had been doing certain planted news, or they had been having this concerted set of cyber attacks against me, which I very clearly know comes from certain corners of the Congress party. I had complained about it to the state as well as the national leadership 3-4 times, but nothing happened, because I know where it is coming from and I know why it is coming. But then I forgot everything and moved on, because end of the day, like, that is what life is, and end of the day, we just need to go with the flow. But yesterday, again, I think it was a breaking point, because end of the day, like, this is, end of the day, you say a lot of things, but like I said, like, this is just hypocrisy at its finest, where you stand for democracy, you stand for free speech, you stand for love, but end of the day, sadly, most of these people are just filled with hate and violent, like, they stand for nothing which they actually say in public.
Why do you say you were feeling uncomfortable in the Congress, and do you think the current atmosphere of chamchagiri, as you say, will drive away more young people from the party?
So this is not even about young and old. Like, you look at the last few months, years, you've seen what is happening. like so many stalwarts who had been working in this party for 4, 5, 6 decades, former chief ministers, former union ministers, senior union ministers, even multiple time MPs, they also have left. And then some of the best of our talents who are young professionals, who are the best of our young potential leaders, they also leave. So what is this? End of the day, like, it is not about young and old. Here you are seeing more and more outflow because of certain reasons, and I think it is alarming, and I think it is time that somebody introspect and try to figure out the answer.
Have you spoken to your father? How has Mr. Antony reacted to this?
I haven't spoken to him at all, because whatever I have done is something which is based on my judgment, my understanding, my beliefs and my convictions and my conscience. And I have said nothing to my dad about it in any manner. Whatever, I don't even know if he will agree with what I had done in any manner, but at least I do think that he will understand the thought process and the process behind it, and I think he will appreciate that.
You know, many say, including your senior leader till 18 hours ago, Mr. Shashi Tharoor, that the government is simply overreacting to this documentary. They should have just, let it screen, not create a hoo-halla, and it would have died a natural death. My question to you is, what exactly is your problem with this documentary?
See, again, this is what I am saying. Like, finally, I do think that India is the largest democracy. It is one of the world's oldest democracies. And we actually, like, end of the day, in a democracy, to keep going on, freedom of speech and expression is sacrament to it. And personally, I am not for the banning or blocking of any documentary, any movie, any book, any show, nothing like that, because end of the day, we are a free country. So this is not about the documentary banning at all. Like, I have nothing to, I don't agree with any bans that is happening, nor do I have any problems with any of these, let's say, screening that is happening. So this is not the thing. All I said is, end of the day, we also need to be cautious about where things are coming from and ensure that our sovereignty is not compromised and our higher national interest and goals are not compromised. This is all I said. So this is, I think, this is what it is.
Now, how can a documentary, a BBC documentary or any documentary, compromise India's sovereignty? That's a bit far-fetched. But let me ask you, in conclusion, the question many people are asking and speculating: are you joining the BJP next?
I'm not joining anywhere. No, I'm not joining anywhere. I'm just going to continue with my own professional pursuits and my own professional career, which I'm very glad I'm having, and I'm very happy with it.
Okay, Anil, Antony, good to speak to you. Thank you very much. Let's see if the Congress contemplates about what you have written in that letter. You're talking about their chamcha culture, and you're saying they're champions. They claim to be champions of freedom of speech, but when it comes to freedom of speech of one of their own, well, that person gets targeted. We'll leave it there. Anil Antony, thank you very much. Now, Anil Antony is the latest in a long list of leaders who have quit the Congress party. Even veteran leaders like Kapil Sibal and Ghulam Nabi Azad ended up parting ways. So the question is, what is plaguing the grand old party? Another former congressman, Jaiveer Shergill, says no self-respecting leader can continue working for the Congress. Let's listen in.
Resignation of Anil Antony, son of tall Congress leader A.K. Antony, once again proves that no self-respecting individual who thinks for the nation, speaks for nation's integrity and sovereignty can remain in the Congress party. The truth of the matter is, now only those individuals who speak for Pakistan, for China, for propagandists now can remain in the Congress party, and all the others who speak in the interest of the nation are being shown the door. Bharat Jodo Yatra is a very expensive PR exercise being conducted to hurt India's image, hurt India's sentiment.
I've answered that one already. I've told you I've not spoken to Anil, and I think he's quite capable of speaking for himself. Yeah. See, I don't think that our sovereignty is that fragile that that it'll be affected by a film on a foreign television channel. To my mind, both the arguments that are being made on the government side, first that it will affect India's sovereignty, and second that if it is screened it will affect national security, those are very, very strange things to say, because they give the impression not only that India is very thin-skinned, but also that India's sovereignty and national security are so weak and so fragile that they could be affected by a mere film. I don't think we're like that. I think we're a big, strong, powerful country. We could have afforded to have ignored this film if we didn't like it.
My guest this evening, Dr. Shatarupa, is a BJP spokesperson. Joining us on the broadcast, Lokesh Jindal is a leader of the Congress Party, and Sanjay Jha is an author, formerly with the Congress Party. Thank you very much. Dr. Shatarupa, would you want to challenge the logic that Mr. Shashi Tharoor is presenting? Because I agree with what he's saying. That India is too great a country. We cannot afford to be this thin-skinned. And how can a documentary, it may be critical of the Prime Minister, but how can a mere documentary impact the sovereignty or compromise the sovereignty of our country? How can it lead to a law and order situation? How can it be divisive? Has the BJP overreacted?
Shreya, it's absolutely impossible for me to say anything, even begin to say anything against somebody who's of such a high intellect as Shashi Tharoor, because I've really run out of vocabulary. But having said that, on a lighter note, no, Shreya, this is a decision that you and I cannot take. I mean, no matter how much media keeps on discussing this, if the government of India and more importantly, the Information and Broadcasting Ministry feels that something is going to harm, we don't know the content. I don't know if you have actually seen the full the first series. I really have no idea. But if you have, I mean, we sometimes we have to rely on the government's decision. That what will harm the nature of sovereignty or the law and order situation. One has to, if we've elected a particular government, one has to stand by and wait for certain decisions, which might or might not be taken at whichever point of time. So here, I don't think I have much to say as a BJP spokesperson.
You don't have much to say as a BJP spokesperson. I'll get to the Anil Antony question in just a bit. But Lokesh Jindal, do you buy that? The fact that, there are some decisions that the government takes, don't question every decision. In this case, the government has very importantly not banned the film. I just want to make that clarification. What the government has done is blocked the film on YouTube and it has blocked the film on Twitter. So it's not banned the film, but the BJP is saying A, it is divisive, B, it is propaganda, and C, rightly, why would you want to listen to the BBC that has a long history of, having a sort of an anti-India bias? Why would you even want to take them seriously?
BJP has cut its nose to spite its face. Now, this particular act of BJP to invoke Rule 16 of the IT Act 2021, calling it that it was an emergency move because this movie could have threatened national sovereignty, it will go down in history and it will give credibility to this particular documentary. Now, BBC is bound to make documentaries. Now, if you talk about Hussain Sohrawardi, who is termed as the butcher of Bengal when India got partitioned, there are various works that are being carried out and they are being released and they are being considered for academic purposes. Now, BJP, with banning this particular documentary, has given credibility and a form of basis to this documentary to get further traction. Secondly, when you're talking about BJP, if it is so much concerned about maintaining social harmony, it could have done what Congress did in 2004. Now, Congress in 2004, it had banned the Final Solution movie that was based upon 2002 Gujarat riots. Despite that movie being anti-BJP, Congress banned it because Congress wanted to make sure that there is social harmony in the country. But what did BJP do? BJP, it promoted Kashmir Files. Kashmir Files as a movie with its content was promoting communal hatred. It was demonizing one entire community. And BJP, rather than banning such a form of a movie, censoring this movie, went on to promote it. Government employees were given tax holiday. They were given holidays. Tax soaps were given. And the leadership came out in open to tell the people that they must go and watch the movie because that's the correct political narrative. Now, BJP, it is exposed now. The double standards are exposed now. And this particular movie is going to hurt it politically as well as ideologically because it has lost all credibility on its claim that it is supporting democracy or it is a champion of idea of India. I would say that BJP has played it very wrong in this particular count. It is going to come down heavily on it.
Lokesh Jindal, let's not talk about democracy. We know what happened in 1970. Indira Gandhi had banned the BBC. Then we know what happened with Kissa Kursi Ka. Let's not get there. And let's see what has happened today. Mr. A.K. Antony's son, Anil Antony, would you want to come in here? Sanjay Jha has quit the party because he expressed an opinion about the film that was contrary to the Congress's point of view. And lo and behold, the entire party came upon him like a ton of bricks, as it were. So let's not talk about democracy. You know, Sanjay Jha, as they say, hamam mein sab nange hain. In this case, when it comes to freedom of speech, internal democracy, etc., all political parties are the same.
Shreya, I think all political parties have been guilty of contravening the highest principles of democracy at some point or the other. That cannot be challenged or disputed. On the Antony issue, there are two aspects. Number one, I think Anil Antony is probably not aware, but this was not about the BBC. This is a British Foreign Office report. This is a government's official document of the Gujarat 2002 riots. The BBC is only a medium. So when I see a lot of the BJP and the right-wing trollers attacking the BBC, I think they are actually trying to score the goal against the wrong country. I mean, they are basically scoring a self-goal. This is not about the BBC, and Rishi Sunak may have made a statement in the House of Commons that he did not agree with the characterization of Mr. Modi, but that's his personal view. The government that he represents today does not agree with him, number one. Point number two, I think, the BJP quoting the Supreme Court has absolved Mr. Modi, etc. But then you can't selective cherry picking here. I'll give you one example, Shreya. The Supreme Court also called the Gujarat government led by Mr. Modi, insinuating clearly that he was akin to Emperor Nero. And what was Nero famous for? For fiddling when the entire city of Rome burned. So you are talking about a very deliberate neglect at a time when there was a communal conflagration, and that's what the BBC documentary is all about. I've seen it, so I will tell you 2 points that I took away from that documentary. Frankly, everything that you and I have debated in this country for the last 20 years is in the document. To that extent, there is nothing new. But there are certain extremely sensational disclosures that if they were to be watched by people, and I think they should be watched by people, because I'm a politician, and I can tell you, you have every right as a person in the media to question any of my conduct that affects the society that I live in. And if today there is a convicted man who was convicted, by the way, by the courts for the murders in the 2002 riots, who goes public on the documentary and says that I was released on bail from the courts because a certain politician put pressure on the judge. Now, to my mind, that is the most, in my opinion, the earth-shattering expose in that documentary. So I do believe the BJP is in a bind, Shreya. They're damned if they do and damned if they don't. Because right now, it's correct to say they are terribly anti-democratic and authoritarian for blocking the video. At the same time, if they don't, I can tell you if the country were to hear what is there in the documentary, the Prime Minister will have a lot to explain to the people of the country.
Shatarupa, just come in here. I want you to respond to what Sanjay Jha is saying. Sanjay, your line isn't exactly clear. Fact is, you may agree with the documentary, you may not agree with the documentary. Fine. Okay. You may call it whatever you want to call it. You may want to call it propaganda. You may want to say that it's playing to a particular narrative. You may want to say it's divisive, etc., etc. Agreed. You've not banned the film. You've not banned the documentary. What is the problem if students in JNU screen it? What is the problem if students in Jamia today screen it? Why deal with them with such a heavy hand? This is a democracy, right? Last I heard, citizens in this country are legally allowed to watch films they want to.
Shreya, first of all, I take very serious objection to the way and the content of what Lukesh Jindal has said, comparing Suravadi, who single-handedly, he is responsible for the direct action day in Bengal. Either he has no idea of what happened to Bengal that day and then the effects of that, or he, like a typical congressman, he thinks everything that the Muslims do is perfectly justified. I really didn't want to get into the details like this here. However, what Sanjay Jha has said Yes, the two universities in question here, they have a history, they have a legacy of things getting out of hand at their campus, and I think if the government has taken a decision to take a stern hand here, I think the government is justified because they do have
No,
a
but the
history of
government has
going
not taken a
completely out of
decision to
hand.
ban the film.
No, they haven't.
The
So
government has not
that is
taken a
actually
decision
what
to ban
speaks
the film. It
volumes.
has merely blocked
Yes,
it on
Shreya.
Twitter and YouTube. If you and I and
Yes.
Sanjay can watch the film, why can't students at JNU and Jamia?
No, yes, Shreya, absolutely. This, in
We are
fact,
still
should
a free
speak
country,
volumes.
right?
Absolutely. In fact, Shreya, this itself should speak volumes that you're the one who's repeatedly saying, I didn't have to say this, that nobody has banned the film. So there must be certain content, or maybe which is beyond supervision of the central government information. I have really no
Oh, come
idea.
on.
I'm not very clear on this. But I'm just saying, as a member of the censor board, we are given there are 14 clauses wherein we are supposed to use those clauses if at all we want to censor a film. A film to be censored or monitored, when they're using the word censorship here in the college, you just
cannot
cannot
censor
doing it, do it because you want to do it. Here, I think, specifically, because if it is these colleges, and there is a college in Kolkata also, which have been advised to ban the screening in the college, maybe because it is being shown without supervision, without. I really have no idea why. I mean, if,
these are
the
20,
film has not been banned,
23-year-olds. Shatarupa ji. Shatarucha, I just, I need to end this discussion, but just to tell you that these are not little children who need supervision. These are 20-year-olds and 22-year-olds and 25-year-olds.
Absolutely,
They don't
Shreya,
need
but
supervision
they
to
are the
see a
ones
film.
who have started off
They
with the
certainly don't. And Are, the only tukde tukde I know is the Shahi Tukda. So we'll just, I don't know what the tukde tukde gang is. Till date, I have not understood what that means. Yeah, so the administration should have just said, all right, see the film if you want to. There would have been no fire. We leave it there. It's 6:34. We leave it there for the moment. No, that's fine. We leave it there. I'm running out of time, but thank you all very much for joining us on the broadcast, because as we speak, I believe that Jamia students have now cancelled their plans to screen the film because, the riot police is out. What else do you expect? We'll take a quick break on the show. There's more coming up on the other side. Do stay with us.